First off, when you're thinking about making over your kitchen, the very first thing you do before you even go to the grocery store is to literally, this is like gold. Write this down because this is what you're going to be doing when you actually are at home. I want you this week, take a time, maybe the weekend, maybe before you go grocery shopping next time, the bakery aisle. Yeah, that is true. The bakery aisle. And you know, right now, I'm actually not tempted to buy anything. And you know why? And that's actually one of the tricks. I actually went to dinner with my son. We went early specifically before this because we had time to do this. And I did have a salad with grilled chicken on it. It was really, really good. And I'm full. So I'm not even tempted because I'm already full. That's definitely one. And I know it's one of our coaches' secrets. And after about 30 minutes in, I'm going to hand it over to the coaches and they're going to share with you a few things that they have made that have really, really helped them make their kitchen over by starting from the grocery store. So I want you guys to drop how many products. Don't look on Google. Now, don't Google search it. I'm going to look to see if you're searching on your computer. And Stephanie, I think it's awesome, by the way, that you're walking on a treadmill now. I know everybody is looking like, oh my gosh, that's so close. I think she just recently got a walking treadmill, and that's really awesome. Get your steps in. So how many items, how many products do you think are inside of one grocery store? Drop down your guess, like all of the products. Just drop down how many you think there are when you go in like a regular grocery store. And I have actually averaged. So Stephanie put 20,000. What do we got here? Drop what you feel is your best guess. The closest, 100K, the closest to it, guess what? The closest, I'm just going to give away a $25 gift card to your grocery store, or just a gift card so you can use it in your next grocery store. So Tina, let's see, 950, 35,000. Okay, best guess, 40,000, 50,000. Come on, you got 10 seconds to put in if you want a $25 gift card. Who wants one? 1 million. I don't know. Where are you shopping at? 1 million for Joyce, 1 million. What else we got? Come on, anybody else? Last call. 35,000, 40,000, 60,000, 80,000. All right. So you guys, there's a couple of you pretty close. And whoever was close, you have to let me know. I'm not going to go back because I want to save the time. There are 38,718. So if you were the closest and you didn't go over, then you actually won. So who is the closest? Well, it looks like we had Karen. It looks like, I think, is Karen the closest? Karen, remind me. And I'm going to get you $25 gift card to your grocery store. So I can do that either through Amazon, or we can find out if you're in Karen. Yeah, awesome. So here's what I'm going to share with you. There's 38,000 average 718 in your average grocery store. So product wise, that's how many products are in here. I'm just going to keep walking so I don't look too awkward. It's overwhelming. Right? It's overwhelming. Right now, I'm walking down this section here, which you guys know what this section is. This is literally the whole aisle. What is it? Soda, Dr. Pepper, Crush. I don't even know some of the stuff that's up here. It's pretty crazy. Section is all drinks. One section. All drinks. So look, you know, it's crazy. We talk about the perimeter. So remember I've said, like in the past, I stay along the perimeter, but you saw what happened in the perimeter, right? The perimeter had baked goods on the whole side. So what I would do is once you've actually, now you're going to take the time in your home, and I didn't go over this because I got a little distracted. What I want you to do this week or weekend is take the time and write, literally journal everything that you have in your house as far as food goes. I don't care if you have kids. I don't care if you're not eating it. I don't care if it's like dry good products, if you have a basement I want you to write every single thing that you have. I know you're like, oh my gosh, Mark, I have so much stuff in there. I'm talking about all your foods. I want you to write it down. And then I want you to take a good look at it, evaluate and see before you even go to the grocery store. The first way to make your kitchen over is you're probably going to have to purge. So one of the things we love to do, my wife and I, we tend to do pretty much like once a month, although we have a small house, and to make over your kitchen in your house, whether you have a big house or a small house, is to look at what you have inside of it. So what I'm going to say is first and foremost to make sure that you go through what you currently have. Because how many people, drop a two down below, have bought something, you bring it home, and whether it's good or not, you bring it home and you're like, oh, I already have two of those. Or gosh, I didn't know I did that. And a lot of that just comes down to some planning. I know obviously we're going to get into that in a minute. And I'm going to give you 10 tips for healthy grocery shopping. And that's actually the very first thing, is to plan. The only way you can plan is actually if you look at what you currently have. The last thing you want to do is just to keep going to get groceries. And what if you had like maybe some salad, or you had some stuff like maybe you're doing some extra protein and you got some tuna, canned tuna, right? And you went and you bought it, you saw it on sale, and you're like, oh, I better get some home, and then you have extra. Of course you can keep it, but it is something that you want to, save money. Like, I don't know about you, but I like to save. Let me guess what day, I looked this up as well, don't look it up now. What is the best day to grocery shop as far as for savings in your average grocery store? Now, everybody has their own different. I know some of ours have different days that are the best, but what is the best day of the week to grocery shopping? What do you got? Drop it down. Tuesday. What else? Come on. This is a participatory. If I'm in here, the grocery store, there's not too many people in here tonight. I think because it was funny. The restaurants we went to J. Alexander, my son and I, and it was packed, and it was all old people because it's South Florida, and there's a lot of old people, retired people here. Sunday, Wednesday, Friday, Wednesday. Yeah, it's Tuesday and Wednesday. Honestly, because most of the time, Tuesday and Wednesday, honestly, during the week, but Tuesday and Wednesday is when they typically change up their specials. And I'll give you, because it is Tuesday, I'll show you what that looks like. And this is where my wife actually taught me. Now, this isn't food, but I'm just going to show because I'm down the aisle. See, like that has love to save here, 2 for $5. Do you know that means you could just buy one for $2.50? Do you guys know you don't have to buy 2 of them to get that deal? You can just buy one of them. So that gets you, what does it do? It gets you to spend more money. Oh, it's a really good deal. Now that's different than some of these. Now I know I'm not even in the food section. I'm in like the Clorox and cleaning section, but some have, trying to find one that has, buy one, get one free. Now this is different than this kind of deal. So again, buy one, get one free. So you got to buy one in order to get one, but that's pretty good saving. That's for whatever odor blasters, right? You're eating healthy. You want to have those odor blasters in your bathroom, of course, right? So you got to be a good consumer, and I want to help you make over your kitchen. And while you're doing that, the first step is to actually have really good, healthy foods. I know it's January, so I know a lot of people are motivated to have healthier foods, but I want to tell you the first thing you got to do is plan, very first thing. And once you've actually taken inventory of, it's kind of like when you come into this program, I take an inventory of where you're at. Like I look at where you're at in your health. If you have injuries, like what kind of weight you're wanting to lose, what things you've tried before. That's when I do my call with each of you, it's when I actually take an inventory of where your starting point is. The only way you're going to get better at grocery shopping is to actually take an inventory. So now we got our plan. So the very first tip is to plan ahead. And it's really interesting. I know they have wine sections. This is a fancy one here. I mean, there's like a whole wine section. This is all over here. There's even a whole like cheese section over here. Kind of crazy. I'm just walking through and there's nobody here. Right now it's kind of quiet. I think everybody is going home. So one of the things when you're doing a plan, I like to use, I'll show you, I actually wrote my note down, so it'd be helpful for you guys when you go down another aisle, is one of the other things, one of the other things that would be really helpful, instead of having just like a little sheet or on your phone, let me turn this around, sorry. I was facing me. Take yourself a journal. Like this is really good because what you can do is you have your list down. And then when you go to the grocery store the next time, so say you're shopping, today is Tuesday, and maybe you go to the grocery store twice a week. Any of you guys go more than once a week? You go twice a week, 3 times a week, depending on the store. Maybe you go to different stores and get different deals and stuff. So what you could do is literally have a little journal, like have your journal. Have your journal, let's see, 2 times a week. Yeah. So have your journal and what you go on Monday. Because how many times, like I said before, is how many times you go and you're like, oh, do I have that at home? Or I have to call my kid and see, like my daughter's at home. So I was like, hey, do we have this? Sometimes I mess that up. And oh gosh, this section here. So how many people get caught up in this section? This is a whole nother aisle. Now I'm going down the aisles that are dangerous, very dangerous. And of course, there's this section as well, right? So in all those products, is probably as far as like what you really need to be healthy. Like the amount of products is probably maybe 5% to 10%. I mean, this whole section here is all bread. Now I'm not against bread, but look, it's overwhelming, right? Like what happened to when they just had like, who remembers the day of Wonder Bread? Like what the heck, like all the stuff that they have now, is it healthy, is it whole grain? So all those types of things, and I'm not here to go those things with you, but the most important thing is to actually plan. Now the second thing that you can do is what I told you what I did before I came here tonight, and that is, how many of you guys go to the grocery store on a full stomach? So that's the second thing that you can do, full stomach, right? Drop a one down if you go to the grocery store typically when you are full. Tip number 2 is to go when you are full. Yes, yes. If you're not, that is a awesome hack. I'll just put my notes here. There we go. Just trying to be mindful. There we go. Cool. All right, so here's another dangerous section. Pretty much all of the aisles, you notice this section? Any of you notice? You know, I'm not an ice cream person. My wife likes this section a lot. Don't tell her. Do not tell her that I like this section. So the second thing is to have a snack. So the third thing is to read labels. So how many of you actually are good at reading labels? So do you actually read labels? Do you know what to read when you're actually reading the label? Because I'm going to show you a couple of things, a couple little hacks. So you want some hacks? Let me know if you want some hacks. You guys want a simple hack? This is like the easiest thing ever. Yeah, you read labels? Good. Carrie reads labels. Yes, hacks. Okay, cool. So here's a very simple hack. 2 hacks I'll give you. 2 for 1. We'll do 2 for 1 since it's 2 for 2 things. So a simple hack. Oh, look, see, here's 2 for 2. I already gave you a couple things. Like here, this is actually, I like this brand. They have actually country sausage in there. These are Nor official. There's a couple. Oh my goodness, I'm now breaking up the place. So let's just turn this around. This is not even. So what I like about something like this is you notice there's not many products. I'm not going to here to nitpick. All I'm doing is looking. Now I'm literally just, we're winging it right now. Al fresco, couple products. So let's see in here. We got skinless chicken meat, pure maple syrup, brown sugar, dried apple. Sounds like really, is there a lot of sugar in there? It looks like it from the ingredients. Total sugars, 3 grams per 1 liter. Yeah, let's just put that back. Now let's just go to something that's maybe a little, let's just literally go right here. Let's go to beef franks. Okay, so let's look on here. There. Yeah, this doesn't have much, but this is not the same. That's a hot dog. So let's go to sausage. See, look at Lunchables. How about this? All right, you guys, any of your kids have Lunchables? I remember when our kids were little. Do I need to even go any further? Like, I'm kidding. Like, I can't literally. It's so small, I can't even read it. It takes up the whole box. So, like, that's a simple hack. Like, that's literally like a simple hack. Do you want to know the best way to read ingredients? Is find stuff that doesn't have any ingredients. Meanwhile, like, you look at spinach, right? You look at an apple. An apple is pretty much an apple, right? You got organic and you got regular apples. Now, again, I know stuff can be expensive, but you got to ask yourself, think about this. It's kind of like coaching, right? You're in a coaching program. You invested a good amount of money to be in a good coaching program because you want to get what you pay for, right? You want to have the best. Well, think about what you're putting in your body. Now, I can't tell you, like, we went out to dinner. I don't know what was in it, like where we were at, and we don't go out that much, but I haven't seen my son in a long time, and we're having a trip. So to me, I'll take that. But most of the time, we're actually looking at what we actually have. So when I'm talking about, like, think about something else. Oh, here, perfect example. So you can have in like let me turn this around. So now there's cheese, same thing. Like, I'm just going to do one more. So let's go Kraft, because typically, it's Kraft natural cheese. So not too many ingredients here. Let's just look at that. So that's not too bad, although it is just a Kraft food product, pasteurized, cheese culture, salt. So you see there's not a lot of ingredients. Your best bet is to find stuff with minimal ingredients, minimal process. If you can't read it, pronounce it. And you can also look up all the stuff that's in there if you really want to go to that next level But here's a way that you can kind of go, besides reading the labels, is to shop around the perimeter, the stuff that's usually fresh, the stuff that's in like the vegetable section. And we're going to get there because that's going to be actually one of the next one. So you notice what I'm doing now, I'm shopping the perimeter. So we went through the bakery section. That was actually a huge bakery section. So while one of my tips is to shop at the perimeter, be careful which direction you go. And then here, obviously, you know, you got your dairy and all that kind of stuff. And feel free, if you have a question, don't hesitate and drop it down now. Kitchen Makeover, Michael, Journey of Food. Thank you putting in the tips. So like, you know, here's another thing that I used to get really, really upset about. Like I say upset, like I'm so confused. Are you guys not confused with milk products and dairy products? And like, okay, we have now almond creamer and we have nut pods and we have oat milk and we have almond breeze and we have silk and we have all different types. We have dairy, we have lactate, we have silk, we have twofer. Like what's your best option on that? What's your best option on that? You guys have an idea on that? Same thing. Look for stuff with minimal ingredients. If you see stuff that's like even your milk product, you know, a lot of stuff now milk. Look, let's check this out. This is something that blew me away. And I wonder if it's going to blow you away. So I'm just grabbing, this is Publix brand. So I'm not here to promote any. So check out the sugars. And do you guys know there's sugar in your milk now? You see that? There's more sugar in milk than there is in actually like a lot of yogurts now. This is just reduced fat milk. Oh, this must be better. It's reduced fat, right? Yeah, almond milk, exactly. So unsweetened, your best bet on those is to make sure you get unsweetened. I'll show you what we get again. And we typically go to Almond Breeze, or actually like this one here, Khalifa Farms. That's definitely like one of the options. And then on there, almond, that's 2 for $6 on that. So again, here's the thing with, again, and I know Nicole can actually share with you guys more on the dairy. But one of the things that you guys know, and this is a whole nother section of dairy, you know, your body doesn't really need any dairy after you're done nursing. You guys know that? I'm not going to get into a whole conversation about all that because that could be a whole training in and of itself. But you can get vitamin D and you can get a lot of stuff that's good for you, not having dairy. And a lot of times, a lot of these allergies that you see popping up, because a lot of this artificial stuff, right? They pop it, who knows with what. Well, can't go down that section, but I think we'll stay away from that section anyway, because it is candy. And that is an entire aisle of candy. But let's go into some other things. Here's number, how are we doing on time? 7:25, cool. So we're shopping the perimeter, seasonal produce. So, you know, here we're in Florida. There's a lot of stuff that's maybe a little bit more seasonal than say where you live. It's not shipped, and you don't really know the best way. Like it's hard to tell. Like it is as pineapple seasonal right now, and some of the stuff. Look at this. Hey, look, here's a quick little hack. Cooks right in this bag. It's already prepared for you. You see this? Look at this. It's literally all it is cut in half. Look at this craziness. It's cut in half for $1. You just throw it in the microwave and it cooks. You guys know that there's a lot of stuff now. This whole section, I know we have this near us as well. All of this stuff takes no time. You guys want to do a kitchen makeover? Now, a lot of stuff might be a little bit more, but what if it saves you 20 minutes or saves you 30 minutes from having to meal prep or having to buy the stuff, and you can just literally, we buy this and we put it in the microwave and cook it up. Not this big a bag, but we have that. So seasonal produce is not going to probably be found pretty much here. But one of the other things you can do is look, there's some good stuff there. Where's the best place to find your seasonal produce? Where do you think? I'm going to give this is a fill in the blank. Drop it down below. Where do you think your seasonal produce would be best found? I think it'll be at a grocery store. Yes, no? Come on. Don't fall asleep on me yet. Farmer's market. Yeah. How many of you guys know there's probably a farmer's market near you? Most of you guys, maybe, even if you live in the city when we have farmer's market. Yeah. Right. Like, here's the best part of that. We have a couple of them here. There's one in St. Augustine, but it's a little ways away. But there are farmers markets. And actually what's really good, what I like, is that you're also supporting those local farmers. So those are where you can actually see. And I'll tell you what, I'm not a tomato person, but I know just looking at tomatoes, the farmers markets, they always have the best stuff. They have the best even like the basil, you know, in the grocery store now you go and you go get some basil and it doesn't even smell anymore. Like you can't even, like none of the stuff is fresh anymore. Like most of the stuff has just been picked so long. So if you are thinking about vegetables, if you're able to do this and go grocery shopping, I'm sorry, I'm just continuing to walk around because it's pretty busy in here. So I'm just being mindful of people and not being able to do it. So let's one of the things here. Okay. Oh, okay. So let's do that. So seasonal produce, that's the 5th tip. So let's do the next 5 real quick. Colorful fruits. So again, that kind of goes in line. Number 6 is colorful fruits. So things that are more colorful. And like I told you, that tomato, it's really hard to find tomatoes that are any kind of produce that's ripe. And you think of when you get it from the grocery store, a lot of times it's shipped. From what I've learned and actually done some research is that a lot of the stuff is picked way before. Like avocados, I actually learned all about avocados from my friend Dave. I was in Costa Rica, and he shared with me like it's kind of a whole, it's like a whole kind of like an underworld of avocados because it's such a huge market. They tell us how long and how many like weeks in advance they pick it, and then they ship it in containers, and then it sits on the shelf versus like getting a real avocado. And here we have like Florida avocados, but they're just not as good. So just keep that in mind, because what happens when you pick them too early, it's kind of like picking a flower way before it blooms. Sometimes what happens with the vegetable. So number 6 is buying colorful fruits, and that goes in conjunction with number 5, which is seasonal produce. And think about we actually already swung by that, is convenience. So one of the other things is to think about convenience. So how convenient, I don't know how much time you spend in the grocery store, but when I go, it's in and out. In offense, when your grocery shop's like, all right, I'm going to stay away from the left side of the store because as soon as I walk in, there's all kinds of baked goods and all that stuff. And I don't know about you, but I get in trouble with the baked goods. So like I'll just get some cookies, or I'll get some scones. I like the scones to have in my coffee in the morning. So just think about like when you're at the store, convenience, get in, get out. The best way to get in and get out is to actually have that plan, which is number 1, which we talked about. So let's go to frozen section. That's where we're going to go next. You guys still with me? You guys digging this so far? Let's make sure. I did navigate. Oh, here we go. You know, it was kind of crazy on this store. In the Publix where I live, they actually have the bathroom in the front of the store. You know what they did now? And I noticed it at another Publix when I did my 12-hour walk. It was like half man into my walk, and I actually had to go to use the restroom. So I went into a Publix. The restroom was in the back of the store, all the way in the back of the store. And that was on purpose. It was not, they do that on purpose. So you buy stuff, right? So it's totally meant for you to spend money. Grocery stores are meant for you to spend money. You know, it's really interesting. So you got the one side, it's like, oh, I really don't want ice cream. I'm going to behave. Oh, but since I'm going to behave and get some vegetables, I might as well get some ice cream too, right? So this is a huge hack right here. Your frozen vegetables. What I love, and I've shared this before, frozen vegetables you can do a huge savings on. So stock up on the frozen veggies. There are some really great options. And let's go here. So you notice, so for our Publix, we have just regular Publix, just kind of regular beans, all this stuff. What I love about the frozen is they usually flash freeze them. So when they're ripe, they actually flash freeze them. It just is easy to do. And then obviously to preserve. So just look at like, as far as like the pricing. Okay, so maybe it's a little dollar more, but you see there's some deals on organic. If you can get organic the best you can, I would highly recommend getting the organic, even if it's a little bit more. We don't do organic for everything, but I can tell you the taste. I don't know if you've ever noticed, the biggest thing that I noticed with organic was when we started and we switched from just regular chicken to organic chicken. We were doing like Springer Farms. We found a place to get that. And I know it can be expensive, but shoot, we get Springer Farms chicken for $2.99 a pound on Tuesdays. And that's actually a fresh market. So if you have a fresh market, they probably have deals. But you know, what's interesting in the frozen section. So we have all these, right? So let's just take a look. I'm just going to, because sometimes you don't want to cook, right? And maybe you're just for yourself. So Thai lemongrass chicken. So check it out. Again, look, quick scan. I wouldn't even spend the time looking at it. Do you see how much stuff is in it? Chances are it's not going to be the best option. And that's just regular grocery store, not anything fancy. Now, what you can do is look for, and this is just, again, I'm helping you out here. So Amy's, let's just take a peek. What was that, lasagna? Let's just look at this. Something similar. Okay, Amy's vegetable lasagna. So again, it's bigger. You see it takes up less space, probably half as much ingredients. I would still look at it. It doesn't mean they don't have any calories. Doesn't mean it doesn't have any fat. But let's take a look at, let me see if I can do this here. That way I can do this better. Okay, so when you're looking at, do you see it says one tray? Most of these like individual meals, $3.50, that's for the whole tray. But you got to be careful because sometimes when you buy stuff, it says, let's see if this is probably for the whole thing. These are one-off meals. See the whole tray? So the serving size is the whole tray. But you know what the craziest thing is? Here's the craziest thing about this. Let me go here. Hold on a second. Sorry. I'm going to flip it around. All right. So one of the craziest things is, do you know that on the ingredients itself, it's why the less you buy that's packaged and pre-made, as far as in like this kind of stuff, that's the food, not talking about the veggies, because veggies are veggies. In fact, we'll just take a look at this real quick, because I guarantee you, what do you think is in broccoli florets? Green wise broccoli florets. Look at this. Remember I said about ingredients? Let's do this. Okay, so what do you think? What do you think's in this bag right here? That's probably it, right? Yeah, ingredients. That's it. I know this sounds so elementary. I'm telling you, guys, start making some small changes on this stuff, and you're going to do yourself a world of good. And here's why it's so important: is because if you're going to take the time to move more, if you're going to time to sleep better, if you're going to take time to try to deal with your stress a little bit better, if you're going to take the time to get in better shape, why not take a little bit of time to make over your kitchen by starting with what you bring home? Like, it doesn't, like the kitchen makeover, and there's a section I'm going to actually show you, because the last place I would buy actually kitchenware products is probably from the grocery store, right? It's probably very overpriced. You can get stuff at, like a kitchen store. You can get them on Amazon for way cheaper. Here's something I know a lot of people have told me they've done before: lean cuisines, that kind of stuff. Let's take a look. Any of you guys you don't have to admit, but let's take a look here. Let's take a look at one of these. Oh, that's not even on the front of it. Oh, here we go. It's on the back. Ooh, let's turn this around. All right, so look, it's all on the side of their ingredients, and it's very small. Usually when it's small and it takes up the whole side, one whole corner of it, a lot of stuff in there. This is supposed to be healthy for you. You know, the stuff that people buy into, those Octavias and those things, and the ingredients on those, it's very similar. A lot of processed, a lot of garbage. And that's why look, you think it's healthy for you if it's a whole meal. Oops. If it's a whole meal and it's only going to cost you $3. Like, you can get actually a protein shake and make something like that and put something healthy together for just as cheap if you're actually smart about it. Again, and oh gosh, okay, this takes me back to college days. Does this take anybody back to the college days? Hot Pockets. Do we even want to dare when we look at this? Oh, look at what's above that. Look, it's not too terrible, but I guarantee you it's pretty crazy. Oh, here we go. Perfect. There's two. So this Hot Pockets has two of these. That's two Hot Pockets. This at least takes the time to give you what's in it. In this two Hot Pockets, there's 626 calories. So let's just kind of take a look at that. 626 calories, 20 grams of fat, 72 carbs. Hey, 20 grams of protein in there. But the problem, a lot of it is all the stuff. Sorry, I don't know if you can see that or not. But again, there's a reason why the stuff is cheap. A lot of times it's because it's missing the food that you need for your body, right? So if you can do one thing this year is to start making some of these changes. You guys, with me still? We got 2 more left, and then I'm going to pass it over to the coaches because they're going to share. Yeah, good. Drop a 1 below. Thank you, Lynette. Let's see. Stock up and frozen. We got 2 left. So number 9 and number 10. So we already did number 10, so we'll just skip that one. And that's look for a local farmers market. So if you know, they usually do them on the weekday. We have one that does midweek, and I'll admit we tend to forget to go to those. But it is something. Now let's go into the meat section, right? Because they're like protein. So now again, here's the one thing that I would be very careful with. They like to try to get you to these pre-made meals for one, right? And stuff. And that's not too bad. Meal kit, but how do you know what's in it until you actually can look at it? And there may be a lower price. Now this is like on the go. That's probably going to be a better choice versus in the frozen. And then they have all these things. I think these are fine. That's really expensive. So you can see meat and stuff is getting a little bit more expensive. Green wise, it's just a different brand, and they got meats. But let's go over into the section. I don't usually buy stuff from there. Well, let's take a look here. Same thing with organic if you're able to do it, and there's usually good deals. So like one of the things we like, this is one area we do for protein, chicken sausage, those are good. Buy one, get one free. That's not too bad. So you're getting, for $6, you're getting 2 packs of chicken sausage. Pretty decent deal if you're a meat eater. And then here's my only thing, and I haven't looked into this enough yet, but I do know, and I did buy one time from a butcher, like I actually bought it online. I can't think of the name of the butcher, like the meat company. I can't remember it. I ordered it, and the beef was amazing. The beef was absolutely amazing. Here's the scary thing. You know, a lot of the meat that's in a grocery store now, it's not even from our own country. You guys know a lot of the stuff's not even from the United States anymore. You guys know that? Chicken, you know, a lot of stuff is shipped from like Brazil. I think one of the biggest places we get meat from is from like Brazil and shipped over. So like that's something you want to be extra careful. Again, if you're able to, it might be a little bit more expensive, but it is something that can be really, really helpful if you have a local butcher that you can help you with, and just ask. You can like literally ask the guys in the grocery store here are really, really good, and they can help you with all that stuff as well. One of the things I've noticed too, who's a fan of Mark Wahlberg? Anybody like Marky Mark? Remember Marky Mark in the fun? He actually has burgers. You know, he has a burger place. But you know what? Like there's 4 burgers. It's pretty expensive, right? Like, where is it? $12? $12 for like 4 burgers versus let's just say $6 for like a thing of ground beef. And I'm saying you got to kind of pick and choose. Obviously, if you're working with a budget that you want to be like, okay, Mark, I can spend a lot of food. Like if you really looked at it and looked at the deals, I guarantee you could probably save just as much by planning ahead. You can save just as much by actually looking at the deals and when they have them. Like we get chicken breast. It's organic Springer Farms chicken breast for $2.99 a pound. Still, like that's something that's been for the last couple of years. And I don't know how they get it for that cheap, but we get it and we buy it in a bulk and we know when we can get it. So you just want to take note of those specials and those times that they do it. And I say, oh, the last thing, number 10. Well, I did say 10, but number 9 was, if you overindulge, don't buy it. Look, here's the one thing. We'll just go by this case, and not much of a beer drinker. Listen, this is perfect because I'm not one to knock beer or wine or any of that. Whole wine case is actually back over there. But here's what I'm going to recommend. Or even like this, let's just say chips, right? Like chips. How many of you have chips at home right now? Let's go ahead, drop a 3 down below if you have some in our house. Like how many of you have chips in your house? Come on, drop it down. Let me see. 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. 3 for kids. All right. I've heard that excuse before. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm going to recommend. If you actually want to help make over your kitchen, if you say, okay, well, I'm going to just have them for the kids, then I want you to actually own it and tell your kids that these are just for you. To say that. Like, so if you're buying your kids Doritos or Cheetos, or don't tell them you're trying to diet or you're trying to lose weight. Again, we don't want to put our dieting or those type of things on our kids. You want to instill some of the healthy habits. So you should probably think, if you know it's probably not something you should have for yourself, Why the hell are you feeding it to your kids, right? Like that's what I had to come to. I'm just saying that for myself because I remember when my kids were little. So what we did was we bought those little snack packs. You guys remember those little chip packs? Because it's a lot easier to just open a little bag of chips and say, this is the chips that you get versus just to give them a whole bag of chips and say, have at it, right? Because look at the size of the chips now. I mean, they're giant. I mean, literally a whole this is a whole section for it. So that's something that, again, and when I was back over to get Aaron one small bag of chips, yeah, that's it. Or you can even say, like, hey, I'm going to give you, here's another hack. For those, a couple of you guys have some younger kids, but even if you have grandkids, I'm going to give you the option of, say, let's say a piece of fruit, maybe some grapes, or maybe like some strawberries. My kids love berries. They're sweet, they taste good, they're colorful, right? They have antioxidants, they're good for your brain, like those type of things. And say you can have a choice of this or that, right? They might go to chips. And my kids, don't get me wrong, we had chips and we had Lunchables every once in a while, but it wasn't something that was readily available. In other words, don't bring it home. And that goes to this. This is the same thing as the desserts. I'm going to give you guys some beer, wine, chips. So if you tend to indulge in, whether it be chocolate or chips or beer or wine, cupcakes or all the, if you put it in here, look, if you put it in here, which I have nothing in my cart for the last 40 minutes. You put it in here, it's going in here. I'm going to say that again. If you're putting it in here, it's going to go in your mouth. If you have it in sight, in fact, in the book that I've been reading, hey, have you guys been digging? Let me know. Those of you who have been reading Atomic Habits, is it not an awesome book? Did I steer you guys onto a good book? If you're reading it, just drop a yes if you've been enjoying it. You can say no if you haven't. Drop a yes if you've been enjoying the book, so I know who's been reading it. It's awesome. Yeah, I read it. I'm reading right now Relentless, which is a really great book. I got the other one done. I'm a little behind in my book. Yeah, good. No, you don't like it or you didn't read it yet. That's okay if you didn't. It's a really, really good book. And one of the things that I like about it is where they say the eyes visually, there's like, we have so many sensory input and choices, and it's so much by our eyes. So chances are, if you don't have it in your house and you make it harder to get to, like, hey, I'll go over to my sister's house and they'll have some chips, and you have some, that's fine. But you're not going to have it at home to have some chips and then tomorrow to have some more chips. And then when you get stressed out, to have some more chips. And you can put in the blank. It could be ice cream. Like it could be ice cream. It could be candy. It could be cookies. It can be all of those things. And one of the things that's been a game changer for us to make over our kitchen has been actually to just remove the things that we know we tend to indulge in and just go out. Like one of the things we've done for date night. So if you guys do date night with your spouses, even if you don't, if you go out with the girls or you go out once on the weekend or something, make that the time you enjoy a treat. Like have it when it's out. Chances are, if you have ice cream when you're out, say once a week, it's going to be better for you than having a buy one, get one for free half gallon of ice cream, right? And you guys know, I'll just go and finish that with us tonight. Is the ice cream, let's see, is it down here? Yeah, here. Well, I won't go down there because somebody's picking out a couple of half gallons of ice cream now, and I won't call her out. Probably should. Oh, here we go. Perfect example right here, guys. This is it right here. So, right? So, and look, it says 100 calories per serving. Oh my gosh, that must be healthy for me, right? So here's the problem with that. They do such a good job marketing. The problem when you start going into the artificial ice creams, it says like 55 sodium total grams of sugar, 4 has the artificial sugar. And it's like, oh, this is Weight Watchers and all that kind of stuff. The problem is, guess what it's going to do? It's still going to stimulate your taste buds to want sweets more, right? You're better off having real chocolate ice cream. Just go out and have some. Does that make sense? Is that enlightening anybody? Tell me if this has been helpful so far, because I want to pass it off to my team and have them share their 3 things. And this is the only thing I want from you guys. Good. So we're here to help you. Oh my gosh, who remembers this? Now I would just buy these because I remember when I was a kid. You guys remember those when you were a kid? I used to get those when I was a little kid. Oh, you know what's really kind of crazy? Check this out. So you notice there's like the chips down this whole aisle. You notice there's like these little sections in the front. that are like, they're kind of separate from that. Sun Chips, Tostitos. Do you know that actually marketing companies, I mean, those companies pay a premium? No different than this. Look, so you have all this. This is another thing, just so you know, it's all marketing. I learned all about this. So do you see this is right in front? And you see this is on the ends and on the aisles? The marketing companies pay the grocery stores more money to put the stuff out on these ends and the aisles, and where there more people are more spontaneous to buy stuff. How many times have you watched by like, oh, I want some high noon, like you didn't even want it, but it's right there on the aisle, and then you say, oh, it's on sale, and I'll just put that in my cart. Next thing you know, you have the stuff at home. You spend an extra $100 at the grocery store, and you have stuff that you know you probably shouldn't have in your refrigerator or in your pantry. Does that make sense? Cool. Awesome. So let's do this. This is what I want you guys to do. I want you to share. So tonight, for the rest of this time, I want you to share one thing. And I guarantee you all have one thing. And it can be something similar to what I shared tonight. So I want this to be collective. And for my team, if maybe Elaine or Michael can jot down, and then we can share it in the group. I want you guys to share one thing that has helped you, whether you're brand new in here or you've been in this program for a couple of years. And my coaches, I want you to drop one thing that right now you do well down below in the chat. And then while you're doing that, and you can take the next few minutes, I'm going to have Lynette and Joanne and Jennifer come on. You can come on one at a time. We'll start with Lynette, and then Joanne, and then Jennifer, and come on and share the three things, because I asked them to share three things that have helped them, and it might be obviously similar, but why not hear from our coaches what's actually really, really helped each of them when it comes to either making over their kitchen or at the grocery store. So feel free to unmute. Let's start with Lynette. Is she here? Lynette's still here, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
So Hi. Come on and open up your mic.
Okay, no, I'm here. So the first thing is I plan my meals. I make a shopping list, and I definitely go through my kitchen to see what I have and what I don't have. I do not go to the grocery store hungry. I'm always full, because if not, I am grabbing for anything. And I avoid aisles with my triggers. My trigger is the chips. My trigger is salt. My trigger is crunch. My trigger is carbs. So I just don't go. Yeah, exactly. I will not go down that aisle. And the interesting part is that Steve and I have different triggers, and we have a pact. His trigger is sugar. So I don't bring home anything sugar, and he doesn't bring home anything salt. And that really helps each one of us. But one of the things I do love to go down is the aisle with the condiments, with all the different types of mustard. Although you have to be cognizant that some of the mustards that are in the prepackaged, you want the little ones that are organic, because some of them have a lot of sugar in them.
Yeah, that's not so much that, because a lot of people don't use maybe a lot, but you use it condiments often. If you're a type like our kids go through it. If you have kids or grandkids that have it all the time, it does add up, right? Like there's a reason why kids like it, because it's addicting, like the sugar and all the added stuff, and it tastes good. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't do mayonnaise, but mustard, but you have to be careful. So.
And spices work really good. I say, try out some different spices, maybe get creative. There's a spice section. You can find some things. If you're like, I'm not a spice person, then just stick to some basic pepper and some pink salt, a little bit of the salt. And if you guys are exercising, salt is not your enemy, just so you know. I know it's gotten a bad rap over the years. It's not so much. It's usually a lot of stuff that's highly processed also has a lot of sodium in it. And you think of like the easiest thing I always think of is canned soups. A lot of the canned soups have like 1,200 milligrams of sodium and stuff. And that's more than like just a small serving. So just keep that in mind when you're doing that. That's great. And it's funny, I was just sharing chips that are right in front of me here. These are the kind of small chips, right? You guys remember those? Yeah.
Yeah. No.
So that's something cool. All right. Is that are you all done?
Well, and then you talked about spices. Spices can change up your proteins and make them taste all kinds of different. So you don't get bored. I love spices.
I found a game changer spice, to be honest with you. And I'm an everything bagel kind of guy from New York.
Yes.
There's an everything bagel. So check this out. Here's a side little note. Everything bagel seasoning Oh wait, grill your chicken, and before you take it off the grill, put some everything seasoned on. It is amazing. My brother-in-law showed that to me 2 weeks ago, and he made it, and I was literally blown away. It was so good. So everything seasoning, it's basically everything but the bagel, it's called, or everything seasoning. You can find that at most all grocery stores now.
Awesome.
And yeah, that's a really great thing. And you can put that on eggs. Again, you can have that taste of an everything bagel without all those extra carbs and stuff. So just keep that in mind. Cool. All right, let's go. Who did I say next? Joanne, let's go for you next.
Yeah. Hi. What I usually do first is I pick my protein and my veggies, and then I take that and I plan my meals around those. And then I make my grocery list of everything that I need that I don't already have. When I take that to the grocery store, I stick to it and I do not deviate from that list. I just check it off as I go. As soon as I'm done, I'm out of the store. I don't go anywhere.
How much time does it take you? I love that. What's your average time in a grocery store with that kind of schedule and plan?
Probably
20 minutes.
Unless the lines are really long, probably 20 minutes.
20 minutes. Yeah.
Maybe.
I remember when you don't have a plan, I know when you go in and you don't have a plan, it's so easy to spend an hour in the grocery store, right? Like that's super easy to do, especially if you go on like a crazy Monday night or Monday or like Sunday afternoon. It's like one of the worst times to go to the grocery store. Right now, you can see it's like, I mean, there's nobody. This is Boca, and I think everybody's asleep because everybody's like 70 years old here. They go to sleep. It's not knocking. It's just, I go to bed. This is almost past my bedtime too. So it's kind of quiet. So it's perfect timing to do this. Great. What else you got? Is that all of them?
My grocery store in particular, when you walk in the store, there's all the carts are right there when you walk in, and they have conveniently cookies, cakes, pie, everything. Brownies, right there, right beside the carts.
Yeah, so they do.
I get a cart for one of the drop-off places in the parking lot, take it with me, and just run through. Just go through. I don't even grab a cart from inside.
Let me share.
And go
Go right and go what?
Go right into the store, turn right, and go to the produce and get what I need from there, and make my rounds.
Awesome. Let me share one more because I don't want to forget. There's 2 more tips, and I'm right here. So I think this will be really, really helpful. 2 things that I also learned, and then we'll go to, unless you have one more, and then we'll go to Jennifer, and then we'll be done. I want to make sure I'm mindful of your guys' time. So one of the things I also learned, and again, just so you guys know, behind the scenes, I'm looking at how can I help save some money for myself personally. So when you go to the grocery store, now we're looking at not food, we're looking at like sealing bags. It's like, what do you call it? Glad bags and those plastic bags, press and seal. Do you know, and it's pretty true what I'm looking at right now, for the most part. So typically the stuff that's at eye level is usually the most expensive. You guys know that? So, and I'm just going to test. I just saw this because look down here at the Publix. They're $3.59 for, this is just the containers. Now, and I got a 2-part to this. So that's that. Let's just do one more thing. So those are bigger size down there. So maybe garbage cans don't notice that, but they usually put stuff that's more expensive. But I want to share you one of my honestly best hacks ever. So you see this, these are all your containers, right? I would say ditch all of these plastic Tupperware, ditch them all. My wife and I we ordered them online. So I'm not saying you have to buy them in the grocery store. We went to the glass Pyrex. It is freaking phenomenal. Why it's so good, so good. The glass is that you don't have to worry about all the plastic stuff, but you can microwave them. And when you microwave in glass, it heats up a lot quicker. So if you're reheating stuff, and I even say that it preserves better than in the plastic. And you never know, like they say, the BPA and like, I forget all the stuff that they say they have that are free, like they're free from all the carcinogens and all that stuff. But we've used, sorry, I'm on my face now, but we bought Pyrex in glass. I found some online and we still use them. We have all the lids. The lids are plastic, but the glass containers are really, really good and they're worth it. So look, for $8, so you can get some glass ones for $8. And yes, it's more expensive than the plastic ones, but how many times do your plastic containers break? And then how many times they crack and maybe you have something in the refrigerator and then you got to get out of the bowl if you're going to heat it back up. I noticed also when we put some berries inside of those glass containers, they actually preserve better as well inside of there. So let's go with Jennifer, so we're mindful of the time. And then again, we'll post, if you guys share all of them. If you don't do it now, I'm going to ask you to do it later inside the group to post your thing, and then we have a homework assignment for you. What you got, Jen?
Okay, it's gonna sound like a broken record because we all pretty much have the same thing going on. I'm reading mine off of what I typed to you earlier.
Yeah.
I plan my menu for the week and go through the meals to see what I actually still have on hand and what actually needs to be purchased. So I break that down. And I also make my grocery list before I've even left the house, but I break mine down because I hit a couple of stops. So it'll be like, you know, I'm going to Kroger and I'm going to get this, I'm going to Atwoods and I'm going to get that. So I know exactly where I'm going, and plan my route accordingly so that I can get there, hit everything and get back before anything frozen melts. And then I do the shopping after I've done a meal or a workout. Some people get hungry after a workout. I feel like I've just done all that work. I'm not going to screw it up now. That's why I do it after a meal or after a workout, because I'll either be too full or I don't want to ruin all that hard work I just put in. And I avoid chips, soda, cookies, etc. And I wanted to show you, when I say a small bag that he gets, this is his small bag of chips, and it's, you know, smaller than my head. That's one of his 2 bags of chips that he gets for the month. So I asked him to pull it down and he's like, oh, they're probably stale, I'm going to throw them out. I said, don't throw them out yet, let me use them.
Well, that's a good thing. That's for your son?
That's for my son. And I do have a cheat. Go ahead and grab one of the dinners. I do have a cheat for like 2 nights a week. We do just anyone. It doesn't matter. Pick one. We just got them in. And I get, I'm not advertising, but I get those. They're Factors. It's fresh. It's not frozen, and it's fresh meals. And the ingredients are, it has a little bit of, there's a bunch of writing. They cook in the microwave, and that helps me on nights like tonight because I don't have time to cook. So when I hang up here with this stuff, 5 minutes from now, we'll have dinner, and that just helps us. I don't have a lot of space right now living in an RV, so I can have 2 meals already planned, and then everything else is either in the freezer or, you know, because literally, if you've ever been in an RV, your refrigerator's this big. That's all you get. So that's how I can still plan for the week. And then there's 2 meals that I don't have to cook. So there's no way we're going to eat out. There's no, you know, so I don't know how, if that's the best choice or not, but you know, that's what I've been doing since being in the
most importantly, it works for you, right? Like that's what you've discovered and figured out. And things change, right? Like your season's going to change when your kids get older, or when maybe you move into a smaller home, or you're in transition, or you know, you have bigger goals. Like, so here's what happens. Like, I know for us, when we had our kids and they were little, we had pizza on Friday nights. We did pizza in a movie. That was our thing. Like, that's what we did with kids. But then I remember the story about my daughter, and our parent, or the teachers were teasing my wife and I. And they had this event every year, and right down the street from the school, the elementary school, is a McDonald's. And one time a year, the teachers get to serve the kids at McDonald's. I know it's kind of sad, right? But it is. So whatever, it's a fun little event. And my daughter was kind of upset because she told the teacher, she's like, the only time we're allowed to go to McDonald's, and don't think this is child abuse either, the only time we're allowed to go to McDonald's is if we go to Redbox. And it's funny, Redbox, so they have the movie rentals outside. And again, it wasn't like she missed out, but it's funny because now I look at both of my kids and they're not sick. They're not overweight. They go to the gym. My son's in better shape than I'm at. They're also pursuing, not because we pushed them, but like, if you don't make it available to your kids, if you don't make it available to your grandchildren, now obviously we have grandchildren, I know some of you do, you're at the mercy of what their parents are doing, right? Because you're not going to be able to do. But while they're with you, like, sorry, that's what Nana has, and that's what Papa has, or whatever they call you, Grandpa and Grandma, and be like, hey, well, we'll go out for a treat. Now, I'd like to think that those traits are carried over. I love that you have that, like, this is what you have for the month, so you can enjoy it. And what we tend to do when our kids are little, and again, it helped us because we didn't want our kids to like miss out, like not have any, let's say, fun to enjoy. But I'll tell you now, like even Mason and I, we just went out to dinner and my kids order water. They don't order sodas. They don't even ask for it because they like water. They actually appreciate water for meals. We had a good meal. We had an appetizer and we chose to have tuna. It was actually a tuna like appetizer, seared tuna, not seared tuna, like tuna tartare type thing, whatever, like raw. Mm-hmm. And my kids liked that. And it was good. And I was like, okay, that was really good. But that started, and it's the same for you guys. Like these are things that you can change and do over time. Let's see, here's the seasoning. I wanted to find that. But I think that's really, really great. And you'll be surprised. And I'm not probably surprised, Jennifer, because all the work you're putting in now is going to come back. And this is for you guys. Oh, here it is. Here it is. I wanted to find it. So here's the everything. Oh, that's Asiago cheese. Oh, everything, all purpose. There's all different kinds. I didn't even see that. Now there's all different kinds of them. Let's just find the regular. Oh my goodness, it's everything but the seeds. But this is essentially basically the stuff that is. And now they have all different kind. Garlic seasoning, black pepper, sea salt, pink, black pepper, garlic. So like these are all different kinds. Pretty cool. But there's regular. So like here's where you can also get, curious and start changing it up. Lots of different seasonings. Now you want to be careful too, because some of the stuff is, loaded with sodium. So again, I'm not condoning that you overdo it with seasoning, but some of the spices you can go and get. And this is another one that's good. Goya. This is something that's pretty good. That's always good on eggs as well. I learned that from my Puerto Rican roommate that I had for 1 year in college, and he put that on everything. It was amazing. Jennifer, anything else? So that's everything for you.
I think I covered everything. And like I said, because of me living in the motorhome, I'm very limited on space. So that's why it is the way it is now. At home, you saw when I sent you pictures, I made really awesome meals that I kind of miss. I'm looking forward to when Mike gets here so I can have a house and cook again.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Great. So I know it is a little after 8. Any questions? So here's what I want you to do. We're going to, I think we'll just be easiest and to do it now before we go. If you guys didn't do it yet, drop one thing that you've done well. If you've done it, thank you so much. And to drop down below one thing that has worked well for you. And then also for your homework assignment is I want you to actually put 3 things that you want to work on as far as with your kitchen makeover. Doesn't necessarily have to be the grocery store, but I wanted to give you literally practical help and some advice on how to navigate through the grocery store so that you can actually make over your kitchen. Can I give you guys a little side tip on the pictures? Because I know it's probably one of the most or the least enjoyable things that you guys have to do, right? So I've done it before. And I did it for 75 Hard. It's part of the 75 Hard program that I've done last year and actually am doing right now. I have to do a selfie picture every single day. I did one today at my son's in his bathroom. And so for those of you guys that don't like it, here's what I can tell you. I have 7 other guys that are doing this with me. I invited some people to be accountability, kind of like you guys do for 75 Hard. And they have to actually take picture every single day as well. And what's really interesting is you get to it becomes habitual. So you don't think about how uncomfortable you are after a while. So even though you only need to do it once a week for us in our program, I would say if it's something that bothers you, just get used to doing it every day as a habit, and you're not going to actually think about it. It's going to be kind of more like just habitual. And what's really great, what I love doing is you really get to see your progress. Like that's what's really great. Like, it's something that when I noticed going through I had 75 straight days of progress pictures, and I've shared them. You've seen them, me post them. Some of you have seen those posts. I've shared them before, and you really get to see, now it's visual, right? Again, do we talk about how our eyes are so visual? You get to really see progress, right? It's not just for me to promote my coaching program or for you to brag about your results. It's actually to be inspiring to others and also to be proud of yourself for really hard work that so many people are just not doing. Think about how many people right now are half-ass dieting, that are doing freaking stupid cleanses, that are asking their doctors for diet medication, that are looking into surgery, that are actually doing stuff that they know is going to not only maybe hurt them, but it's going to mess up their metabolism. They've done it before. They put all the weight back on. And a number of you guys have had some experience with that in the past, and it freaking sucks. So, like, think about this. I talk about my coaches being coaches now. They weren't coaches 2 years ago with me. They were in the program. I think of you guys as all at some point leveling up to be coaching somebody else. Maybe it's your kids, maybe it's your family, maybe it's the people that in your workplace, and not by bragging about it, by inspiring them to say, hey, you know what, you can do this. It's not actually that hard once you actually have what you need and the plan in place and the structure and support that you need. And truly that's what it comes down to. And I always say is like the sky's the limit, because I know you guys have 3 amazing coaches in my team here, and hopefully I'm a little bit of a helpful inspiration to you guys. Like, I don't plan on stopping setting new goals. So as you guys get inspired, you should hear me. I talk to my coaches. I want them to level up, to look into higher goals, leveling up to different things. And it doesn't mean you have to go running a marathon. It could be simply like you level up your grocery shopping skills by showing up here tonight and actually taking this seriously and staying away from this company pays a crap ton of money to have this right in the front, right before you check out. Why? Because they know people are going to buy these last minute. You know why they do these right at the checkout? So that people don't feel guilty about all the junk that they put into their grocery cart, right? I know how it works. Like, you guys stick with me and I'll show you the way. We'll get this done together, right? So I'm going to get on out of here. As much as you invest in me, I want to make sure that I actually level up and invest back in you. So you know that this is not something I take lightly. Each and every single one of you, you're all family, but also I think of you as family, and I want my family to be in the best shape of their lives. So you guys are on this journey with us. 2023 is going to be kick ass. And one of the ways to do that is to make over your kitchen. And it starts at the grocery store right here. Start there, or whatever Publix or grocery store you have. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go. You have a great night. You guys have an amazing night. Take care. God bless.